are doing well and having a great week so far. Today I am going to be sharing some of my favorite vintage, antique, and thrifted holiday decor for this upcoming Christmas season. I have been so anxious and very tempted to start decorating already. We have our tree up. It is not decorated, it just has some twinkle lights on it right now. But I'm trying to hold off for everything else until we're at least a little bit closer to the true Christmas season. We'll see. It's just so hard because I just get so excited. But for now, I just want to share what I have. Some of the things are old, some are new from this year, but my idea for decor this year is kind of the same theme I've had throughout our home, which is just having a very collected, one-of-a-kind look. I'm going to be incorporating nature elements and a lot of homemade and DIY type of decor. So I'll share a lot of crafts in the next coming weeks and just very simple ways to make your home Christmassy and cozy and inviting for this next season. So with that said, let me start by sharing some of the things that I have collected so that maybe it gives you some inspiration and some fun ideas for your home. So the first thing I thrifted is this. I guess it's, I'm gonna use it as a vase, but it's a planter pot essentially. And this was $1 from the thrift store. It has roses going around it, which I thought was beautiful. And I really like this. I can picture using this at Christmas time with some roses and greenery stems. The next thing that I have are these beautiful antique postcards. Here's one. I'll show you a few right now. These are so beautiful and really unique. A lot of them even have a note to a loved one, which is so cool to look at, and there's years and stamps. So I thought this was such a cool find online. Let me see if I could show you a couple more patterns that I personally like a lot. There's that one, and then I liked this one as well. I have a handful of probably 10 to 12. I don't know if I'll use all of them, but I'm very excited to find a unique way to style those. I also thrifted a couple books that were Christmas related. Not necessarily to read them, although they could be very good books, but just to have them as more of a display, just because the title, I don't think you can see it on this one, but the titles will have a Christmassy name. And I'm probably gonna take this one out actually because I liked that it was a really pretty red color. So I'm gonna use those just to be able to add dimension and stack some decor on top of. A couple other things I have shared a few of these before, but since this is officially a Christmas video, I want to share it on here as well. I had thrifted these bowls. I feel like it's gonna be the same thing where it's hard to focus. For about $3, and I got 8 of them, and I thought that would be cute to have just for little breakfast for the kids, and just to have a special bowl that we bring out in the Christmas season. I also had got these mugs. These are beautiful and so classic and vintage. Pretty much has everything that I would want in a dinnerware set. So I have mugs and then I have plates, which I'll show you in a moment. So here is the plate that I got to match the mugs that I had already found. I had to go onto Etsy because I could not find very many quantities of those plates, and I would like to have at least 8 of each because we have 7 in our family, and that already only leaves room for 1 guest. So I think over time I should try to collect more. I'm just not in a huge rush. So I have 7 of these plates right now. I would like to find 1 more on Etsy if I can, just to have 8 of each thing as I build the collection. But that's all I'm gonna look for this year. And the next year I will maybe try to find salad plates or something, but I would love to have this full collection. And then I found this little bowl at an antique shop. I love the holly and just the cutout. I'm probably just going to put pine cones in this actually. I kind of contemplated if I wanted to do like a bowl with ornaments, but I think I can't help but use nature elements whenever I can, so I just think I'm gonna reuse the pine cones that we have throughout our house for autumn right now, and I think that'll look really nice too. The next thing is I have 4 of these teacups, and I love them. They're beautiful. I love the design, and because it has red as the main color, we are going to be using these for Christmas exclusively, so they will be something that we bring out each year and then we pack away at the end of the season. But I like that idea because it makes it so much more special if something's not in reach and able to be used all the time. My daughters and I and my mom just love tea, so this is something I picture doing with my mom as well and my girls for many years to come. So I'm hoping that we get a lot of use out of them and that we have so many special memories surrounding our conversations and whatever else we're doing while sipping on a hot cup of tea together. I almost forgot to share this, so I wanted to show it to you really quick. But I found this at the thrift store for $3, and I think this will be so pretty to use this Christmas season as well. Next, I wanted to share a couple homemade Christmas items that I have made. Most of them were last year and some I'm working on this year, but I am telling you, like, you do not have to spend a ton of money to make your home special, and I really think it's things that are more thoughtful and homemade that really make this season all the more beautiful anyways, and one of a kind to your family. And that's something that I'm so big on when it comes to having your house truly become a home, is just finding ways to make it uniquely and just beautifully yours. And so this year, Haven and I wanted to have a special place to write down our recipes that we use and Christmas season. And so I decided, I had all the supplies already, which was nice, and I made this little recipe book, and we are gonna bring this out every year. And I mean, it's not perfect, so I'm aware, but it's something that I feel like is special, and I hope that it's kind of like an heirloom quality type recipe book that can be passed down someday. And so I made that for us. And then I was working on more embroidery because I have a lot of supplies on hand all the time because it's like my personal favorite hobby. And I made this one, and I asked Haven if she would do the writing for me. So it says, "Unto us a child is born," with a really cute little wreath around it. But I was originally gonna do the writing as well, and then I thought to myself, Haven is the one out of our kids that can write at the moment, and so I wanted her to use her handwriting so that I could remember it, first of all, because I just think it's so sweet just how their writing is as a child. And also it just makes it more sentimental for me to see it in this format versus everything being my own personal handwriting. So I hope that down the line I get to do this with my other children as they learn and grow, that I can have pieces that are with their sweet writing, and I can have it in our home as this little reminder of just how fleeting time is, but how special each day is as well with them. So I'm excited to have that as a decor piece. And then I just want to share, so last year I had made the kids' ornaments, and I'm going to do that this year as well. My idea for this year is to do the cinnamon, I don't know what it's actually called, but it's a cinnamon scented ornament essentially. And I'm going to do gingerbreads for each of them and have them all have like different like scarves and buttons and make it kind of unique to each kid. So that's my idea of a homemade ornament this year. Last year I went the embroidery route because that's when I started this little journey of and hobby, I guess you could say. This was Haven's, and it's a rose. Okay, I'm gonna show you this way because my focus is really lacking for my camera today. But Haven actually made this one for my husband as a Christmas gift, and I think it's the most precious thing. And then here is Kinsley's that I made her. She loves baby dolls, so that was perfect for her. And then I have, oops, This was Luke's. He absolutely loves Star Wars and Baby Yoda, so I made him that one. This was my son Cade's. He loves penguins just like his Uncle Ryan, so he was adamant that if I made him an ornament, somehow could I just find a way to put a penguin on it, and of course I did. And this is the one that I made for my husband. I wanted to incorporate our favorite memory of last year, which at that point it was going to Charleston, and we just had such a special time. I'm turning the camera back around now. We had such a special time in Charleston, and one of our trips there was a huge rainstorm, which I guess we could have chose to view as a disappointment because we love spending our days at the beach there and enjoying just the sunshine, because it was actually summer. But instead we just made the most of it, and I don't think we've laughed that hard and had so much fun together still as a family. Like, if you bring it up to my kids, they talk about how it was one of their absolute favorite times together. And so it just blessed my heart to know that we just made the most of a really random situation of just a bunch of rain, and we happened to be on the beach, so we got caught in the rain. And that's why I wrote "Meet Me in the Rain," because we were running around goofing off still, and we were soaking wet. But I think one of the funny things about being in the South is the rain is warm. Like, it wasn't like, oh, it's freezing now. It was still warm out and humid, and it was such a great time. And so I wanted to have something that would always remind me of that getaway weekend, because it is one that I pray I never forget, and I don't think any of us will. But I just wanted to share kind of the background to that, because that's what I mean about homemade things. Like, there's more meaning behind them versus going and buying something that anybody could have. So don't be afraid to have more imperfect things in your home that mean so much more. I think that's way more special anyways, and I hope that you do too. The last thing that I'm going to share, which is my personal favorite and hands down the biggest labor of love that I have taken on to create something. Sorry, I'm like looking down trying to get a good grip on it because the ribbon just kind of slid off. And it is this advent calendar that I embroidered last year. I started this in the summer of last year. Like, everything took so long, but I will say it was 100% worth it, and I really, really love it. So I embroidered each one, or put a little charm or something. I hope that you can see this okay. This was something that I absolutely loved creating, and it took a ton of time, like I shared. But when it was complete, like, you get nervous when you take on a difficult and prolonged project. You just hope and pray that it like meets your expectations. I've had plenty of fails in my lifetime, and this was not one that I wanted to be disappointed in because of the amount of time and work and effort and thought I had put into it. This is something that I love and I'm proud of, and the kids thought it was amazing. And even still, when I brought it out just to share on this video, they're like, we love that, and it's so pretty. And they were telling me which ones were their favorite, and it just meant so much to me. So let me show you this right now as my last kind of finale of the homemade things I have for Christmas. That is the advent calendar that I created, and I'm really looking forward to having it out in our home again. And it is hands down my favorite piece of decor, and probably will be for many years to come, just because it's so special, one of a kind to our family, and was this labor of love that I know that we will all cherish because it's exclusively ours for our family. But that is it for today's video. I hope that this inspired you more than anything to make something, create something that's uniquely yours, and also not shy away from doing things that are outside of the typical trends. I know that my home does not fit in to the category of what is trending and current, but I'm happy that it doesn't, because I feel like I'm almost doing something right and creating something that's just ours. And I want that for you and your home as well. If that happens to be your style, that is more than okay. I'm not saying that you shouldn't follow the trends. I know that it's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing, and you feel like you have to like certain things because that's what the majority of people are interested in. But just be proud of your own unique personal style for your home and embrace it, and realize that not everyone's going to love it, but what matters is that you and your loved ones do, and don't worry about anything else outside of that. That would be my encouragement, because I'm such an old soul and our home is very vintagey and collected, but that is what suits me. That's what my oldest daughter has also been drawn to, is just older, unique things that tell a story. My husband loves the vintage furniture that we've collected, and so it just works for us. And so I'm saying this to encourage you, do what works for you, and be so happy and glad about it, because you only have one home, and so make it a beautiful and cozy place that you and your loved ones are so happy and thankful to come home to every single day. I hope that you have the best week, and I'm looking forward to a lot more Christmas content in the future. I'm going to be sharing some very easy crafts next week, so stay tuned for that. These are very affordable things in the future that are easy to add to your home, but it gives you the chance to do something with your loved ones, create something if you like to do that sort of thing with your free time, and make a memory along the way. I don't know if there's anything better than that, so stay tuned for that video. And if you did like this, if you could please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, I would appreciate it so much, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye!